good morning and happy first day of spring. I hope everybody is enjoying the first day of spring and looking forward to the weather warming up and turning into summer soon. So, as I teach meditation, I have been thinking about how I describe meditation to people in my classes. And I've been thinking about my own process in meditation and how it has been working for me and how I have been trying to apply what I've learned through the practice of it, as well as the reading about it and understanding the components of it. So today I thought I would talk a little bit about my experience in meditation, how I meditate, how I understand meditation, perhaps, and to share that with the audience and to see how it compares to your own experience and to how you practice meditation. So, to begin with, when I practice meditation, and the direction that I often give is asking people to sit and to begin by just focusing on their breath, to, in a sense, or the way that I see it, is to kind of settle down both their mind and their body. People come into the meditation room and they, are coming from wherever, from outside, coming in, rushed, getting there on time, having done stuff before, all of that. We bring that with us, as I do when I prepare for my own meditations, when I meditate individually. And we sit, and like I said, the first instruction that I try to give to people is to settle themselves down, settle their mind down, settle their bodies down, and to slow down. I'm a big believer in my own mind of trying to give people the instruction to slow everything down, to kind of get into slow motion, half speed, quarter speed. In my mind, it's as if I am watching instant replay of a tag play at second base, and you have to slow it down and slow it down and slow it down to see if the second baseman slapped the tag on the runner before they touch the base or after. And so in my own mind, I kind of liken that slowing down to that, just to be able to see things sort of at their granular level and to just see them, not wanting an outcome, not expecting an outcome, not hoping for an outcome, and not seeing the outcome that I want. And so that's how I look at it. And I do this by asking people to focus on their breath, which is what I do. Try to focus on my breath, and I try to just sort of trace it around, feel the air coming in my nose. For me, it feels like a water wheel turning. I see it in that way in my mind, in a sense. The air goes up, it comes around, it comes down, and it comes out. And, so I get people to sort of just slow down and to focus and to get into that breathing pattern. And then as I do this, I talk to people about whatever you bring with you, whatever's sort of floating around in there, whatever you're trying to sort of ground yourself into, let those things arise. And let those things arise so we just kind of can see them. I always talk about having people examine them and to try to take them outside of themselves and almost as if they're holding it in their hand. And I kind of envision this in my own mind, almost like a ball that we sort of roll around. I sometimes think of it as a basketball that you whap and it turns on its finger, but of course more slowly, just to sort of see it. And I try to get people to not think about it, and what I say is to not grasp or cling to it or evaluate it. So not to think about, oh, I'm rushed, I'm feeling anxious, and that's a bad feeling, that's an unpleasant feeling. And I don't like that feeling, but I feel that way. But just to look at it, to be able to see that perhaps I'm anxious, I'm feeling rushed, I'm feeling like I have a lot to do, and I'm thinking about all those things. To just look at what arises in them and to see it and to watch it And of course, to not evaluate it and not judge it, but just to recognize it, that it's in there, and then to just let it go. Um, I believe, and of course, it's the teachings that everything is impermanent, that things are always coming and going, and that we can grasp onto them and try to hold them, but that it is in our interest to just let them go and to recognize that all things are like that. And this is practicing for being able to see, at least the way I view it, the bigger picture of letting all things go. So those are the basic instructions that I give, and then I guide people through a process. But when we're talking about kind of what's happening in my experience of it, is I recognize that as I am focusing on my breath as the meditation object to get me centered, to slow me down, to quiet my mind, to, in a sense, almost sort of like wash away the windshield so things are clear. After having driven and having stuff come up from the road and clog the windshield and streaks on the windshield, this allows me to sort of clean it and to see something that is clear, to have clarity. But of course, as we meditate, or at least in my experience of meditation, and certainly with the people who I think are in the group, in the groups that I lead, I am sure that, and I have had people tell me, and this makes perfect sense to me, and it is my experience, that thoughts come up. So what I have learned is that as thoughts come up, let them rise. Don't suppress things. Don't push them under the rug, whether they are things that are pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. Just allow them to arise and to look at them and to investigate what they are. And by investigate, what I mean to try to see them without that sense of pleasantness or unpleasantness or neutrality, just to see them. I feel rushed. There's a sense of feeling rushed. I can feel it in my body. I can feel it in my shoulders or my belly, wherever it sort of manifests itself in your body. To see it and to recognize that it's going to go and to let it go. To don't glom on to that, to increase the anxiety, to increase that sense of, oh, I can't wait till this is done so I can get to the next thing. Our meditation and our practice will come and go like everything else comes and goes. So I try to get people and I try to say to let that go, release that, give it free rein, let it go. And whatever comes up next comes up next. But as we're meditating and as we let it go, as we recognize that it's, in a sense, time to go, that I'm focusing too much on it, that I'm grasping it, I'm clinging to it, we can label it thought, anxiety, emotion. Recognize that, let it go, come back to our breath, and continue to go through that process and try to focus our attention. And the focusing of attention for me, in my experience, is it helps me maintain a slower pace in my mind. It allows me to sort of free myself up in a sense, or to clear the path. Maybe a better way to look at it is to clear the path, to allow what's ever in me to arise and to be able to investigate it. And through the investigation, what I mean is to see it and maybe try to see the root of it. Why do I feel anxious? Why do I feel unhappy? Why do I feel rushed? Why do I feel overwhelmed? Where is that coming from? And not so much to think of it as events. Well, I have 14 things on my to-do list to do that I got to get done by 5 o'clock, but to see it in a sense, in a different sense, to see it that this comes from me because of whatever, because I was taught the importance of, once you set a list, you have to do it no matter what. Or to come from that, if I don't do the things that I do, I'm not fulfilling my mission and my purpose, whatever that is. To sort of understand that, and to understand that those are all things that we create, and to recognize that those are self-imposed, in a sense, hindrances or blockages that allow us to see what's happening and to experience things in real time. and to sort of understand the experience of what it is without other things kind of covering it up. And in a sense, we might say without other things kind of distorting it, distorting the reality of what it is. And to begin to be able to wipe that away from how we view our own experience and view the world and view others. And so it is this process of, for me anyway, in my experience, of concentration, clearing out that concentration, or not clearing out the concentration, clearing my mind out through the concentration, really the way that I'm trying to look at it, seeing what arises, looking at it, trying to understand it or investigate it, not holding on to it, and coming back to my breath to recenter myself, to keep myself in that modality of being able to see things, to being able to experience things without throwing context on them, to seeing them, as I often talk about, at the most granular level that there is, to understanding when I watch a bird fly by me, that I can see the color, the speed, I can almost feel the air move. And I can experience that without worrying what type of bird it is, how quickly is it going, or any other things that I might impose on it, but just to see it, to get down to that granular level. And for me, it begins to help to clear me out, to be able to see things, evaluate things. And there are sort of two things that I often talk about. And one is that the idea that this allows me to respond and not react, so that as I see something and I've slowed it down and I have some understanding of what it is, I don't just automatically react to it. So unlike Pavlov's dog, who hears the bell and salivates, the external event happens and I don't have to respond right away. I can slow that down. The other thing for me that seems to help me when I think about it is the idea of seeing and not thinking. So for me, what that means is that looking at it, investigating it, seeing it, but not getting caught in being a part of it as if I'm thinking about it, which then defines it in some context that may or may not be in reality. But I have to see it first. So that is my experience of meditation. And as you meditate, hopefully meditating and practicing on your own, as well as if you listen to the videos or come to my classes, but to sort of have that experience of slowing yourself down, focusing on the meditation object, which is your breath. And you can use other meditation objects, of course, but if we are focusing on our breath, allowing what to arise, investigating it, recognizing it, letting it go, labeling it if you need to, coming back to your breath, and staying in that process and allowing that to be. So that is how meditation feels to me, or how I experience it, and the method that I use. I'm continually trying to learn more. I'm continually studying about meditation, trying to understand the finer points of it. But at a basic, fundamental level, this is the process and the experience that I have. Thank you. Enjoy your day. Namaste.